Setting goals is a scam. I mean, it's a socially accepted delusion, like horoscopes. Here's the proof. One long standing story in self help circles claims that 3% of Yale or Harvard grads wrote down their goals, and 20 years later they were earning 10 times more than everyone else in the class. Sounds inspiring. Feels like if you just buy a new planner and write things down with enough colored pens, then you can have your dream life. But here's the thing, it's completely made up because no such study ever happened. Both Yale and Harvard have confirmed this. Researchers checked, and there's no record of any class of 1953 goal setting survey. Even motivational speakers who told the story couldn't trace it back to a real source. It just kept getting passed around to other speakers. It was like trying to trace the source of a fart. Everyone smells it, but nobody's admitting shit. In the end, it all leads back to a famous motivational legend, Zig Ziglar. When he was asked, his team admitted the story has no source. His team said Zig just reads a lot. The whole thing was built on sounding cool, and yet it's been repeated for decades. Why? Because it gives people a false sense of progress. Everyone wants to have success, build a business, go viral, marry a soulmate with perfect eyebrows. But then we spend our mornings writing manifestations in a $35 notebook, and then 6 hours later, you're half naked in bed, frustrated, eating a burrito in the dark watching Netflix because your life isn't manifesting fast enough. In psychology, this is called the intention behavior gap. Setting goals gives your brain a dopamine hit just by imagining success. But without a system, your brain thinks it already made progress, so it stops trying. Don't worry, by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to achieve success and have real progress without waiting for a full moon to align your energy. So, no moon rituals, no fucking whiteboard, not another vision board with quotes like, "She believed she could, so she bought a ring light." So, here's the real solution to success. Don't set goals, set constraints. A goal might say I want to have 100K subscribers on YouTube. A constraint says I upload one video every Friday at 10 a.m. no matter what. This is backed by research in behavior science. Psychologist Peter Gollwitzer's implementation intention studies showed that people who set specific if-then constraints, like if it's 8 a.m. I write, are up to 91% more likely to follow through than those with vague goals. Writing goals feels like movement, but it's not. It's an illusion of control, like immigrant parents actually pretending to hear what you're saying. So, what is a constraint really? It's a limit or rule you choose to put on yourself with a specific purpose and intent. There are two types of constraints. One is something you decide to do in one part of your life, like write 500 words every day before having my first coffee. Or two, it's something you decide not to do, like I'm not going to go on Instagram till 12 noon. While goals give you wishes, the constraints give you momentum. And this makes life easier actually, because the future isn't built by goals, it's built by actions. So, how do constraints make life easier? Actually, see, in every moment, you and I are at the risk of losing our attention from what matters most to us. Right now, in the 21st century, the biggest threat we face as individuals is distraction. Because as someone who's trying to make it in life, the only weapon you and I have when we're starting from zero is time. Time to build an app, time to invest in making content, to build a brand, a product, a service, time to learn a skill to get a raise. As people who don't come from privilege or advantages, that's all we got. But right now, your attention span is being held hostage by an iPhone and 1,000 dancing 19-year-olds lip syncing. According to D-Scout, a study on smartphone use found that the average person taps, swipes, or clicks their phone over 2,600 times per day. So addictive by design. Every tap pulls attention away from your goals. We're currently bombarded with options for distraction like dopamine vending machines, from escapism on Netflix to doom scrolling on TikTok to a text hounding you to take their 10% off on your next purchase of an avocado slicer you don't need. We're milliseconds from losing our priorities every time we touch our phone. And once you have one, they're always with you, like hemorrhoids
What?
or regret. They take your time away, which is the only weapon you've got if you don't come from money, fame, or a nepotism internship at HBO. So constraints bring you back that power, your power of focus. Constraints remove the debate. For example, let's say you're on a basketball court. If there were no lines, no rules, and everyone could just run wherever with 10 balls, it'd be chaos. Just cardio with anxiety. But the second you add lines, one ball, a shot clock, and rules, now it's a real game. Now you can win. That's what constraints do for your life. Constraints make the game winnable. They give it shape. They give it focus. Constraints don't restrict you, they turn random mess into focused effort in a direction. Goals feel fun for 5 minutes. I want to be rich. I want abs. I want a hot girlfriend. But constraints say, I save $100 every week. I work out before dinner. I code for 2 hours before I play League. I talk to one new person every week. And that's how the magic happens. One little rule, repeated daily, becomes power. James Clear didn't set a goal to sell 10 million books. He said, I write 2 pages a day. That constraint became Atomic Habits. Jack Dorsey early in Twitter had a hard limit of 140 characters per post. The character limit made people think clearly and write tightly. The constraint created the product's entire identity and ruined modern conversation forever. Picasso painted only in blue and green for years during his blue period. It created some of the most emotionally iconic paintings in history because the color limitation forced emotional depth through texture, shape, and subject. Beethoven lost his hearing in his 30s. He said, I'll compose anyway. That constraint became Symphony Number 9, one of the greatest musical works in history, while completely deaf. His constraint forced deeper internal visualization and feel. His music got even more profound. Meanwhile, my AirPods died, so can't focus. With constraints, you stop thinking so much. You start doing way more. That's how it makes life easier. It takes away the overwhelm, simplifies what's important, cuts the noise, keeps your burrito eating Netflix breakdowns to a minimum. Your mind would think that restrictions would box you in, but instead, they build you up to become dangerous.